This is Jesus Unfiltered, and I'm Mick Friend. I'd like to bring you some relief today. How about that? Less complication, less demand, less wearying, some relief. Jesus Unfiltered. I think we consider so much of what Paul wrote and Peter said that we sometimes skim over some of the great teachings of Jesus, and I think we overcomplicate the issue. I want to read from Luke chapter 18, verse 15. People were also bringing babies to Jesus for him to place his hands on them. When the disciples saw this, they rebuked them. But Jesus called the children to him and said, "Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of God belongs to such as these. Truly I tell you, anyone who will not receive the kingdom of God like a little child will never enter it." Truly, I tell you, anyone who will not receive the kingdom of God like a little child will never enter it. He's always outside. He's always on a hillside. They seem to find him everywhere he goes. And so he sits down for just a moment, leaned back against a rock on the side of a hill. People are gathered around, sometimes by the thousands. This day, he finds himself just a few feet away from everybody else, and he's maybe nibbling on a biscuit when a mother sees his quietness, his aloneness, and she carries her little baby over to him. And she kneels down next to him and said, just bless my daughter. And he reached down and touched her little forehead and wiped the little wisp of hair away from that little baby's head and blessed that child. And other mothers saw it. There were children running around, playing on the hillside, chasing each other, little kids' games, the laughter, the sound. And another mother brought her two little ones. And one of the disciples, from a few feet away, maybe they were having some deep theological discussion, I don't know. But they came over to step between Jesus and these parents, these mothers who were bringing their little children, and said, Don't bother him. Leave him alone. And Jesus rebuked them. He said, "Stop it. Don't you hinder them." And then this powerful thought, unless you become like a little child, you'll never see the kingdom. Oh my God. All of my life I worked on doctrines, and, I think about baptism. You got to teach it. You got to go back and get the Old Testament typology and understand washing. And then you got the proper clothes, and do you sprinkle or do you immerse? And then exactly what do you say and who's supposed to say it? I've done hundreds of baptisms. I don't know if the preacher's supposed to say it or the one getting baptized is supposed to call on the name of the Lord. It's just complicated. And then we have administration. Well, you got to work on the financial side of the church, and then somebody's got to be sure the building is kept up, and then you got to have some transportation to people who can't make it, and then you have to have a children's program and a youth program and a young marriage program and a men's meeting and a women's meeting, and somebody's got to make peanut brittle, and who's going to organize the Christmas program, and what are we going to do for Easter, and where's the Sunday school picnic, and oh God. And then Jesus said, hey, Stop it. Let me give you some relief today. Sit down. Maybe get a hot chocolate instead of coffee, something kids like. Put your feet up. Rest. Think about how good he's been to you. Say thank you. I can see him breaking off a piece of his donut, his biscuit, his little barley loaf, and handing it to a little child who trusts him, who takes it and takes a bite, and he smiles, he shares, they receive, they're trusting, they're loving, they're happy. It's not complicated. It's not complicated. And I thought, the more I knew, the more detailed, the more I understood, the closer I would get. But he said, you can't even see it. Mick, you don't even see what I'm doing. You don't get it. It's all become complicated, detailed, serious. If you'll come like a little child, then you'll see the kingdom. And that's Jesus unfiltered.